Hi, welcome to another edition of Striving to be the Best. I'm Andy Hills, Superintendent of Schools, and today we're joined by Miss Erin Simpson, Principal of our Grizzly Academy. Hi, Erin.
Hello, Andy. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Good.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, Erin, maybe you could just start. Tell us how long you've been part of our administrative team here and a little bit about your career.
Sure. I have been with Wadsworth City Schools this is my 20th year in Wadsworth, and it is my 28th year in education. So I was a teacher in Medina for 8 years prior, 4th grade and 6th grade. And then I was privileged enough to start my career in Wadsworth at Lincoln Elementary, where I was there for 3 years. Then I was principal at Overlook for 15, and for the last 2, I have been at Grizzly Academy.
Very good. So we're in our second year of the Grizzly Academy. Thought maybe it would be helpful. Can you kind of talk to us about why was the school created?
Yes. Well, we were finding that we had students who just needed that alternate placement, maybe a smaller class size or less transitions in the day, maybe a more structured day than we can provide in our typical buildings. And previously, prior to Grizzly Academy, we would find locations for those students to attend outside of the district. And as an elementary principal, that was really hard to have those conversations and tell parents that we needed to send them away from Wadsworth for those services. So Mrs. Walker, our Director of Student Services, and Mrs. Thomas, our Coordinator of Special Education, they started looking into why were our students so successful at those programs, and could we replicate that here in Wadsworth? And I was always a big champion of that, because I never want to give my students up once they're here. And so they visited some locations and did a presentation to the board and to you, and the board was amazingly so supportive of this program, and so we began to provide that in district. And I believe the first year, last year, we had just K through 4. We started with 16 students, and of those 16, 12 of those were placed outside of district before we opened Grizzly Academy. So we're able to bring them back. They're Grizzlies with us. They'll be Grizzly graduates, and it's just wonderful to have them back with us, to know their curriculum and have our teachers working with them.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So starting a new school, there's a lot that goes into that, and especially a school that's kind of different by design. Mm-hmm. So can you talk a little bit about the work that went into creating kind of the guiding principles and framework for how the Grizzly Academy operates?
Yes, so one of the key pieces that Mrs. Thomas and Mrs. Walker found was that staffing was very important, and having the right staff and the right number of staff. And so that was a big commitment by the board to allow us to be staffed in a way that would support our students. So in each of our classrooms, we have a general education teacher, an intervention specialist, and a behavior technician aide. So that supports all of the students within that classroom. So as we had that, and we started with 2 classrooms, we had to first start hiring. And so we hired first for the principal. I was fortunate enough to be able to have that position. It's always been a passion of mine. And so then we started hiring our staff. And once we were able to get that in place, what was amazing to me was when we began Grizzly Academy, all of our staff was internal, with the exception of one intervention specialist that we hired from outside of the district. So to have that commitment from our own teachers was very powerful and amazing. So we had that probably, I think the board approved the plan in February. We did our interview rounds in March and April. And so late April, early May, we started just planning what was the school going to look like in August. So it was a crunch, and we were trying to find where we would be located. So that was a challenge on your end administratively. But we really, the first thing we wanted to talk about was, what were our beliefs? What did we really believe about what we wanted Grizzly Academy to be for our students and our families? We wanted them, this was their, welcome back to the district. We wanted them to know that we were partners with them, and that there were probably a lot of hard conversations prior. So we really wanted it to be a welcoming kickoff of the program. But we started with our core beliefs, and then we really went into what Grizzly Academy would represent, along with Wadsworth City Schools, with our Grizzly way and are being safe, kind, and responsible. So our leveling system, our tenets for the student behavior and expectations all follow in that same line. So when our students do transition back to their traditional school environment, it won't be different in per se of what those expectations are. We maybe just have a few more of expectations and structure. So and probably my favorite part of planning that beginning was we knew we wanted something that really represented our school and that our students knew from the start and believed in. And so as a team, we developed the Grizzly Academy Promise, and it is still something that we say every morning at our morning meeting. It's a pledge, and we talk about being safe, kind, and responsible and trying hard things. And most importantly, the last line of that is truly my favorite. It says, I am a Grizzly Academy Grizzly and I am loved. And that was really what came out as the biggest tenet. Was we wanted our students to know that no matter what happened every day, how hard the day was or what they might have needed, that we loved them and that tomorrow we're going to love them again when they come back. And so to hear the students say that every morning is really, it's powerful. So that's something that was really helpful.
Yeah, very good. I know a lot of time went into being able to put all of that stuff you just talked about together.
Yeah.
And you and the staff did an outstanding job creating that. So,
thank you.
So this year we expanded to grade 5. Can you tell us a little bit about how the expansion has gone?
Yes, so this year we added 1 grade, but in adding 1 grade, we also went from 16 students to 29 students. So, and those weren't all 5th graders. So we have a really wide range of numbers for all of our grades. We have 4 classrooms this year. So we've expanded. We took over another, as you know, but our viewers don't know, we took over a 2nd wing in the administration building. So now we have the L, and we left you 1 little wing until next year. But we have multi-age classes within that. As we looked at our numbers, we decided what is best way to put our students together. So we had enough students to have a standalone kindergarten classroom and a standalone 3rd grade classroom, and then we have a multi-age 1-2 classroom and a 4-5 classroom. So we looked at that. We had to again hire more staff. As we did that, we brought again more teachers from in district wanted to come to Grizzly Academy, so we brought them over and hired 1 external person again this year, another intervention specialist. So some people changed roles a little bit and got them in their sweet spots, and it's been wonderful to see just how that collaboration between our staff and our students really has been able to expand with more students this year. So it's been wonderful to watch that and enjoy seeing them work together.
That's great. So as we look to the future, and I should make a couple comments here too, everything that you spoke to about why the school was created is so true. Keeping kids in our community is what we're all about and wanting to do, and being able to get students back to the more traditional environment is obviously the end goal for all the kids. But one of the other pieces of this was a financial analysis as well. Our Board of Education takes that responsibility of looking at finances very carefully, very, very much to heart. And so they committed that first year to what we knew was going to be an expense, with projections showing that as we expanded the academy, there would be a savings to the district year after year. And so with this expansion through grade 5, the district is projected to save about a total of $75,000 this fiscal year, even though we had to hire additional staff. And that's because of that savings on the tuition to send students elsewhere, transportation, and other things. And then that kind of leads me to our next question, which is statement. And we're going to be expanding then through grade 12, which has always been the plan for the upcoming school year that starts in August, which financially we project will have an even larger savings for us each year. So maybe talk to us a little bit, how's that planning process going, and what do you see with the expansion?
Yeah, well, I'm very excited. It's going to be a challenge for me as a leader. Also, I have not led above elementary school. I taught in a middle school when I was a teacher, but I'm very excited about that opportunity to welcome our 6th through 12th graders. So what we've envisioned and kind of decided as a team and as an administrative team is that we will almost have like 2 schools within our school. We will, as you know, but our viewers do not know, is we will be taking over the full building next year. So we'll have all 3 wings. And so we plan to have a K-6 portion of, kind of the program and a 7-12. So we're really looking that way to be able to really specialize content, specialize instruction and different approaches to how we might do morning check-ins and morning meetings. And between the grades, but still have a unified school. So one of the pieces I'm very excited about with our 7th through 12th graders is we're building in a small portion of their day that will be a service block. So they will be working in some capacity with our younger students, practicing some of those life skills, possibly running our school store, and so they're doing the math and the customer service, all of those pieces that go into that, reading with some of our students, being mentors and teaching them how to play on the playground, really using our students so that both of our ends of our school have that opportunity for our older students to really feel that leadership opportunity to excel, and our younger students look up to our other students. So that's something that we are targeting to keep Grizzly Academy as a united front. One of our pieces is that we say we're a family growing together, so we don't want that to be too separate. But when we talk about instruction and how we want to deliver that to our students, we are really working to have that direct instruction as much as we can for the older students. We will have they will be accessing some pieces via an electronic curriculum, Apex curriculum, but we are in the stages now where we're hiring staff, so we're looking at that opportunity to hire 2 general education teachers for our 7 through 12 and 2 intervention specialists, and then an additional gen ed teacher, because we need to actually expand again at the elementary level with that 6th grade adding there. So again, we're kind of expanding that staff, preparing that, starting to think about logistically, what does this look like in the building now that we're going to divide everyone up. So that's a piece that we're playing into that. We have not yet started our interviews, but that's coming very soon, and I'm very excited about that opportunity. And really the key piece as we plan and move forward that the Grizzly Academy team sees, and I have been blessed to see as a leader, is that I think our success with our students is truly because of the relationships and the passion that our staff brings to building that relationship first with students. So that will always be our guiding point. And we really want teachers who want to be there. They want, they know this is a challenging position. This looks different. They have to prepare for multiple grades, and, maybe as they get into the older grades, just different content within the subject area. But they love it. They do it because they love it, and they believe in our students, and they want to be there. So that's something that we're really looking forward to continuing with our new staff and making sure we get those right fit for our program.
That's fantastic.
And I believe our numbers right now as we look, not everything's finalized, but I think that we will be almost doubling, if not doubling next year. So we're at 28 right now, and I think right now we're at about 53 students for next year, with a possibility of up to 60, looking just at some possible placements. So we're excited.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the facility a couple different times. When you go back to that February through May timeframe of 2023, when we were looking for a place to be able to house it, and we wanted it to be in district, and we just couldn't find the right fit. And so now, with it expanding, we're going to be moving all of our administrative offices to the high school, and we're able to do that because we've been slowly kind of right-sizing over time as our enrollment does some declining by reducing through attrition. And for the most recent upcoming year, just at the high school alone, we have 5 teaching positions that we won't be filling through attrition, which frees up space for us to be able to relocate the administrative offices. So we're doing all of that in a way that doesn't significantly change how the building is set up whether it's Grizzly Academy or at the high school, as far as the physical setup in case we need to make pivots moving forward. But trying to do things, again, in a most cost-effective way that makes sense for us, for the community. So.
Well, something that I just have, it was never our initial plan to be in the administration offices, and then as we couldn't find something, I was creative with space, having been at that building, and probably now you're thinking, oh, I shouldn't have listened to Erin back then, because now she kicked us out all the way. But really, in those first 2 years, and even now as our staff prepares, we're very sad to lose administration in our building with us. We like sharing with you because the whole administrative team has been beyond supportive and beyond present for our students. I mean, it's amazing to me, having been in one of the elementary buildings for so many years, that all of our students know Dr. Hill, Mr. Moore, Mr. Jackson, Mrs. Walker. I mean, they know you. You're present in our buildings. You're involved in activities that we do, and that has been really special. So I just, want to thank you and the whole administrative team, central office team, from everyone, secretaries, custodian, everyone has been wonderful to our program. And I don't know that we could have made it through year 1 and 2 without you guys there. So we might be calling you over at the high school and say, hey, come back.
We appreciate those comments, and we'll definitely won't be strangers.
Yes,
You'll still continue to see us on a regular basis. So there's a lot to be proud of, obviously, listening to you talk about Grizzly Academy, but can you talk about a couple of things that really stick out to you that you're just super proud of?
I'm so proud of our staff for how hard they work. I mean, some people might look and say, well, their class sizes are so small and there's multiple people there, but the amount of planning that goes into the instructional day for our students is amazing. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but they do, and they excel. And our students are phenomenal. They have responded so well to, we've had to pivot. We had plans, we had things that we thought, how they would work. And now we had to change some things, and our kids have been great. So they have really risen to the challenge. Something I am very proud of our students this year is that we are expected to have 5 of our students graduate at the end of this year and go back to their traditional school placements. So that is just really, I'm so sad to lose them. It's going to be hard. Some of them came with me, and so I'm going to miss them a lot, but they need to be back in their environment. And I just, a really very cool thing about that too has been something I'm proud of, is the embracing from the elementary schools that are receiving our students. Their teachers have come over and visited our students in our setting, gotten to see them in their environment. It's been wonderful. So that's been something I'm very proud of the way. Right now there's a picture of our leveling up, and our students, we celebrate our students all the time. They get so proud when they level up to the different levels and earn more responsibilities and more privileges at each of those. But celebrating kids and celebrating families is something that I'm really proud of at Grizzly Academy. And just the difference I think that we've made in the lives of our students and our families, I would say, is something that is, we're very proud of. And this year we were humbled and honored to receive a Rosie Award from the Chamber of Commerce for, best, now I'm going to lose the name of it, nonprofit for the year. And to have that after year 1, I mean, I didn't even know that was a possibility. And so that speaks to our families and our students and our staff. And so we have a lot of pride in our program and want people to know it as an amazing Grizzly Academy, not as something different that they may have had in their mind before.
That's great. So you mentioned families. Could you tell us how you purposefully are involving families?
We have made a commitment to have at minimum 3 family events per year where we bring our families in. And so this year, our first, the first opportunity, I guess, is always our orientation and our open house at the beginning of the year. And we have 100% participation every year. It's amazing when you think of that. And then we have family events where we had bingo night this fall and grilled out dinner for our families. And so we had Mr. Fairhurst, one of our teachers, was out on the grill, and all of our other staff were, serving in the line and calling bingo numbers and giving out prizes. And it was just so wonderful to have that opportunity to have our families and students there together. This year we have had with our celebrations, when we had our character dress up day and our holiday parties with that, and winter break, our families come in and volunteer and help out. And so that's been wonderful to see. We want them engaged and active. We also, our second family event, and this is a tradition that has now happened last year and this year, and it's my favorite day of the year, is our gratitude gala. And again, last year and this year, we had 100% participation with our families, where students were able to invite someone from their family, a grown-up, a cousin, aunt, uncle, sibling even has been there, who they are grateful for. And it's our gratitude month for our Character Strong, so we really highlight why that's important to say thank you and what people mean to us. And then our students all do a little video and share that with the families. We put that together and they highlight why. We know that it would be really difficult to speak in front of all of those people, but they can do it on video, and then we put it together, and so all the grown-ups get to hear why their student is appreciative of them. And it doesn't just end with the students. All of our staff also invites someone. So it is a very special day. That is something that just brings tears to my eyes every year. This year we also, just recently, right before spring break, we have something we call Wonderful Wednesdays, which is actually today, where our students get into different groups by all the grade levels are mixed together, and they go to 6 different stations, 3 one week and 3 another, and they get to do an activity that is, again, goes back to our Character Strong trait of the month. So right before spring break, cooperation was our character trait in March, and all of our staff that ran one of the stations had an activity or a game, and we invited our families to come in for that, and they went to the Wonderful Wednesday rotations with their student, got to participate. So seeing, the grown-ups passing a hula hoop over their head, cooperating with the kids and the staff, and building puzzles together, and the floor is lava was one of the stations, but all of our families coming to that it's really important. We want them to see the good that is happening in our program and see their students shining. So that was our activity, and we will have, at the end of the year, we will have a student showcase where we will celebrate the progress our students have made. We'll celebrate our graduates and just highlight some pieces of our program. And because we've grown so much, we actually are moving that this year. We reserved the PAC, and so we're having that at the Performing Arts Center at the high school. And then we all will end the year on the last day of school with a family picnic. So students can invite as many family members or special guest members as they want. Hopefully the weather will be nice again this year like it was last year. We're out in the yard at Grizzly Academy and playing games and activities and having food and lunch together, and that's really special. So we want our families there, and boy, do they respond. They come every time. Last year for our family picnic, again, we had 100% turnout. So that just is not really common, to have that and to see that. And our families, the support that they give us is just unbelievable. So we're very lucky.
Yeah, that's great. Well, just have a couple minutes left here. Is there anything else that you'd like to add for the viewers here?
I'm so proud of Grizzly Academy. I feel very blessed to lead it, to work with an amazing staff, just to celebrate all the good things our students are doing and how special they are, and how celebrated they should be. We have seen this year more of our, just in general, Wadsworth City School staff members have come over to visit us during the day. I tell them, come see us, come see our school. It is just like, when I was at Overlook, it's just like an Overlook school, but with fewer students. And really, students are engaged, and they're learning, and they're seeing the bigger kids work with the little kids is amazing. Today we had 3 new students actually join us today. And our students that were there were so excited. They were cheering for them when they came in this morning, clapping. One of them said, "Why didn't I get one of the new students in my Wonderful Wednesday group today?" And I said, "Well, I only had 3 and there's 6 groups." And he said, "Can I please have one next time?" And I said, "Yes, in May I'll make sure I switch them up." So just the pride that our students have in our program, and truly what an amazing opportunity it provides to students, because all our students are just students who struggle to fit in right now to that normal traditional school program. So it could be because there's just too many people in that, too many noises, too many transitions, directions coming from too many different people. We're trying to all speak the same language. So I don't ever want anyone to think that Grizzly Academy is something negative, because it really isn't. It is an amazing place to be. I think all of our students would say that, and all of our staff would say that, and I certainly say that. So I thank you and the board and the community for the support and even this opportunity to highlight our program. It's very special. I could probably talk about it for hours, but I won't. We're almost out of time.
No, that's great, and I would echo the same thing. Grizzly Academy is definitely a very special place. There's great magical things that are happening there every day. So thank you, thank the rest of our staff, and we're very proud of the work that our students are doing there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us today, Erin.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and until next time, thank you for your continued support of our school district, Wadsworth.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.